Okay, one more thing about graphing. There are some things about equations of functions that can make it easy to graph without tables, but there's one more piece of vocabulary that you possibly haven't heard yet that I wanted to bring up. So let's look at these two examples. We have 3x plus 5 equals y. Now, when you look at this graph, if you're trying to find the slope, you want to pick 2 points that are on the line where the x and y grids kind of overlap. So I've got this point and this point. Why not those two? If I'm finding the slope, I'm counting how far up and how far over, the rise and the run. So the slope here, which I don't know if you'll remember, is m. The slope is 3 over 1. Ooh, wow, this is not writing well. 3 over 1, or just 3. And this line crosses this y-axis here at 5. The name for where the line crosses the y-axis is called the y-intercept. If you look at the equation for this line, you might notice that the slope is the coefficient of x, and the y-intercept is this constant at the end. Let's look at another example. If I was going to find the slope of this line, I'd have to pick 2 points. So I'm going to pick, how about here? That's on the grid line. And over here. If I'm counting from left to right, because that makes it easiest, I'm counting down 4 to the right 3. The slope, which again is m, is -4, because I went down, over 3. Again, slope is the coefficient of x. And, oh, I actually marked it already. This line, the y equals -4/3 x plus 2, crosses the y-axis at 2. It's 2 up from the middle. So this is the y-intercept. This can make it really easy to graph a nice line without having to worry about making a table. It also helps you take a graph and write an equation for it. If I hadn't known what the equation was and just had the picture, I could have found this intercept at 2 and the slope of -4/3, and I would have put -4/3 with x and plus 2, because this is a positive 2 by itself. Y equals -4/3 x plus 2. Okay, so in these examples, if I was going to graph without a table, I would start with this plus 5. Plus 5 is the y-intercept. Intercept sounds a lot like intersect. So it's where the line intersects the y-axis. And this says 5/2. Okay, 5/2 is the slope. 5/2 x means 5/2 is the slope. Okay, so if the slope is 5/2, that means 5 up and to the right 2. Do I have enough space for that? No. A positive divided by a positive is positive. I could also do the opposite. I could do a negative, it could be like -5 over -2. So 5 down and 2 left. So I'm going to go 5 down from there, and 2 to the left, and put a point. And 5 down from there, and 2 to the left, and put a point. And that will make a pretty nice line. Oh, I missed. If you use a straight edge, this works out better. But there you go. Looking at this next equation, which part is the slope? Slope in this is -3. The coefficient of x is the slope. That makes this the y-intercept. So always start with the y-intercept. It says +3, so on the y, I'm putting a point at 3. Then my slope is -3. -3 is the same thing as -3 over 1. So it's down 3 to the right 1. And I can get, it's a nice idea to get at least 3 points, so then you have an idea of where your line is going. And then connect and extend to make a nice line. So one last little bit of vocab. X, when we talk about X, the group of all X is the domain. If I ask if something's in the domain, I'm asking is it one of the X values. The group of all Y, oops, sorry, is the range. So if I ask something if something's in the range, I'm asking is it a Y value of that function. X is also often called the input. So the group of all X could be the inputs. So X equals inputs. And that makes Y the outputs. I just want you to be familiar with this vocabulary. Inputs is X, outputs is Y. Domain is X, range is Y. And that's it.